Hey again, guys, it's me, Christoph, back with another story time for you, and I'm really looking forward to this one tonight. So grab something warm to sip on, grab a nice snack, crawl into bed or get on the couch and grab a blanket, and get ready for a couple of seriously spooky and creepy stories. And as always, if you enjoy them, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get straight to it. The Sinister Funeral. A former teacher I had actually told me this story. When she was about 15 years old, she used to go exploring waterfalls with her friends. It was a Sunday, and they had decided to go to a waterfall that was close to a little farm. They were all walking down the road when a long line of people appeared in front of them, walking away from the farm towards the city. As they approached, they realized it was a funeral procession. They passed the procession and could see that it was made up of only men who were all dressed in black. They all had their heads lowered in such a way that it wasn't possible to see their faces. When the group of friends turned to watch the procession go, it had vanished. The Faceless Figure. When I was 15 years old, I stayed up late watching a TV marathon with my sister. In the middle of the night, after my sister had fallen asleep, I saw the nearby computer mouse start moving by itself. I called my mother into the room, and she said it was probably a rat that was pulling on the cable from underneath the desk, and that I should just go to sleep. Suddenly, I swear, I saw a black figure with no face or human features behind the bookcase. It looked in my direction and pointed. I nearly shat myself with fear. I remember saying, "Who are you? I do not want you in my house. Nobody wants you here. Get out of here, now!" The thing left, and I actually heard it hit the cabinet before it just went through it. The cabinet began to sway, and the door slammed and made a loud bang. Nightmare time. My mother always complained that she had a lot of nightmares, but she would never say what her dreams were about. One day, while we were at the mall, I suggested that she wait in the food court while I was getting our food. When I returned with our meals, she had a strange look on her face, so I asked her if she was okay. She said she was fine, so we finished our meals and left. As we were riding down the escalator to leave, I turned to talk to my mother, and I almost had a heart attack, because standing behind her was a man in old-fashioned clothing, holding one of my mother's shoulders and looking at me with a very angry expression. She saw the shock on my face right away and shouted at me, asking what was wrong. When I told her what I had seen, she started crying and said, "You just described the man that tries to kill me every night in my nightmares." This story comes to us from Reddit. The Redditor's name is According Nebula 139. I think there's something wrong with my dog. Something strange is going on. It all started about a week ago. I live in a rural part of the town with very few neighbors nearby. I often have to drive long distances to get to work. I have a golden retriever. His name is Toby. It was a normal day. I got home from work, fed my dog, then went to sleep. I woke up in the middle of the night to the sound of footsteps coming from my garage. It then slowly moved to my bedroom. Right when I was about to get a peek of whoever it was, I woke up. I realized it was all a dream and went through my day like nothing had happened. However, later that night, something similar happened. Just like last night, the footsteps started in the garage, but they were louder this time. This time, I was able to get a quick glance of the person. However, I could see a faint outline of someone from the light of the moon. The person was tall and had long hair. I then woke up again. Slightly creeped out from the past 2 nights, I still didn't think too much of it. The next night is when everything changed. When I tried to feed Toby, he wouldn't eat. He just sat there and stared at me. I then noticed that for the past few days, Toby seemed really tired and slept all day while I was at work. After a little while of trying to get him to eat, I finally gave up and went to sleep. I heard the footsteps again, but this time they were from the kitchen. I knew that Toby would bark at whoever it was in the kitchen if someone was truly there, so I thought nothing about it and went back to sleep. When I woke up in the next morning, I went to the kitchen to make eggs for breakfast. I noticed that stuff around the kitchen was moved around, and some plates were broken. This got me worried, but I didn't have time to do anything about it, since I almost was late for work. When I got back home, I called the police. They couldn't find any signs of a break-in. I was told to give them another call if it happened again. I went back to sleep and I didn't hear any footsteps. When I woke up, I noticed that something had happened last night. Relieved, I went to feed Toby breakfast. This is when I realized that he had been locked outside all night. I don't know how he got outside. I figured I must have left a door open or something. Cold and hungry, Toby ran inside and gobbled up all of his food. I decided to give him a little bit extra that morning. When I came back home from work that day, Toby finished all of his food. When I went to sleep later that night, I was hoping that I wouldn't hear the footsteps again. I woke up to the footsteps yet again, but it was different this time. It sounded like whoever was in my house was running. They approached my bedroom, and the door slammed open. All of a sudden, whoever it was lunged right towards me. Whoever it was started attacking me. I was scratched and bitten, and I felt the warm breath beating down on my neck. When I woke up the next morning, I found Toby licking me, and I had a few cuts on my legs and arms. I thought it was strange how Toby gotten on my bed, because it was high up, and he has never went up onto my bed before. At this point, I knew something was wrong. I called in sick for work that day, and brought cameras to put around my house. I spent all day installing the cameras and making sure that they were working. By the time I was done, it was already nighttime. I fed Toby, then went to sleep. I felt safer this time since I had the cameras installed. What happened this night was almost exactly what happened last night. Someone ran into my room and attacked me. This time, when I woke up, I had a lot more cuts and bruises. Also, Toby was on my bed again and was licking me. I watched the videos that the cameras recorded. Everything seemed normal. It showed Toby walking around the house. Then I saw he went into the garage. A few minutes later, I saw this horrifying creature that I can't fully explain in words. It looked almost like a werewolf, but it had a creepy resemblance of Toby. I watched as this thing ran into my room and attacked me. Right when I passed out, I saw the creature transform into Toby. When I saw this, I knew I had to leave immediately. I quickly left the house, and I am now writing this in a hotel room. As I was heading to my car, I found a huge hole in one of the garage walls. I don't know what to do. I think Toby may have been possessed by a demon or something. Well guys, that about wraps up this video. I hope that you enjoyed those seriously creepy and spooky stories. I know that I did. Hoping you're not too creeped out and that you can get a little bit of sleep tonight at least. If not, there's always coffee in the morning. And as always, if you did enjoy the video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I truly appreciate it. Hoping to see you next time, and sending you guys all my love always. Oh, and one more thing. YouTube, stay creepy.